The revolutionary power of Black collective economics. Why individual success is not enough today. I want to challenge everything you think you know about success, power, and progress in the Black community. I recently had the privilege of speaking with Myesha Garrison, a visionary leader who's fundamentally reshaping how we approach entrepreneurship and professional advancement. Myesha isn't just building businesses, she's architecting liberation. Through her groundbreaking work, she's demonstrating that the path to true transformation isn't paved with individual achievements, but with collective, culturally rooted ecosystems that sustain our communities for generations. What makes Myesha's insights so revolutionary is that they directly confront the dominant narrative we've all been force fed, that grinding harder, climbing higher, and breaking ceilings alone will somehow create lasting change. This narrative has exhausted us. It has fragmented our communities. And most critically, it has failed to deliver the systemic transformation we desperately need. The truth that Myesha so powerfully articulates is this: we cannot hustle our way to liberation. Individual success, while important, will never be enough to dismantle the structural barriers that have historically limited our collective progress. We've been conditioned to believe that success is a solo journey, Myesha told me during our conversation, but our ancestors never survived that way. They thrived through community, through collective wisdom, through lifting as they climbed. This perspective isn't just thought provoking, it's revolutionary in a world that worships at the altar of individualism and hustle culture. It demands that we reconsider what empowerment truly means for Black professionals and entrepreneurs. Let me share three transformative insights from Mia Shea that might forever change how you approach your professional journey. First, community driven leadership isn't just beneficial, it's essential for sustainable progress. When Black professionals intentionally create spaces and networks that foster collective advancement, the impact extends far beyond individual success stories. This means fundamentally reimagining how we build professional relationships, moving from transactional networking to creating ecosystems where resources, knowledge, and opportunities flow freely throughout our communities. Second, entrepreneurial success must be grounded in cultural authenticity. When we center our cultural identity in our business ventures, we create enterprises that are not only more meaningful, but more resilient and impactful. This isn't about superficial representation. It's about building from the depth of our lived experiences and ancestral wisdom. It's about creating businesses that serve our communities while honoring our heritage. Third, while our work must be heart centered, it must also be strategically sound. Data driven and evidence based approaches ensure that our ideas are viable and scalable. This marriage of purpose and pragmatism is what creates ventures that can withstand economic fluctuations and continue serving our communities for generations. These principles aren't abstract theories. They're being actualized by remarkable Black entrepreneurs who are redefining success on their own terms. Consider Myesha Watkins, founder of Counseling for the Culture, known as C4TC. Myesha didn't just identify a critical gap in her community, a profound lack of accessible, culturally relevant mental health resources for Black families. She did something about it. What makes C4TC revolutionary isn't just the services it provides, but the community it builds. Myesha created a sanctuary where Black mental health isn't an afterthought, but the central focus, where cultural context isn't optional, but essential to the healing process. I watched my community suffering in silence, Myesha once shared. People were drowning in trauma but couldn't find therapists who understood their lived experiences. So I built what we needed, a practice that honors our cultural context while providing evidence based care. The impact has been profound. C4TC has become a trusted pillar in the community, dramatically increasing access to mental health services while simultaneously reducing the stigma that has historically prevented many from seeking help. The practice has inspired similar initiatives across the country, contributing to a broader movement for mental health equity in Black communities. This is what happens when we approach entrepreneurship not just as a means of generating profit, but as a vehicle for community care and collective healing. We create ripples that extend far beyond our immediate business objectives. Or consider Dr. Myesha Williams, an associate professor at Spelman College. Dr. Williams recognized that Black students and aspiring entrepreneurs often lack access to education that bridges cultural context with business acumen. Rather than accepting this status quo, she created entrepreneurship in the beauty industry, an innovative course that integrates economic theory with entrepreneurial practice. What makes Dr. Williams' approach revolutionary is that she doesn't just teach business principles, she teaches them within a cultural framework that acknowledges the unique challenges and opportunities Black entrepreneurs face in the beauty industry. She applies rigorous methodologies like lean startup while ensuring students understand how to develop culturally authentic business models. Economic theory without cultural context is incomplete, Dr. Williams explains. Our students need both the analytical tools to build viable businesses and the cultural understanding to create enterprises that truly serve our communities. The results have been transformative. Students emerge from her course equipped not just with business knowledge, but with the confidence to build ventures that honor their cultural heritage while creating economic value. This is education as liberation, giving young Black women the tools to build wealth and influence in an industry that has historically profited from Black culture without adequately including Black ownership. Then there's the Queen Snow Platform, a powerful initiative led by Black women entrepreneurs. The founders recognized a painful reality. Black women entrepreneurs face systemic barriers to visibility, funding, and community recognition. Their solution wasn't to accept these limitations, but to create a platform that amplifies the stories of Black women leaders, provides mentorship, and fosters a supportive network. We couldn't wait for mainstream media to tell our stories, one of the founders shared. We had to create our own platform where Black women's brilliance could be celebrated and shared. The impact has been extraordinary. The platform has featured dozens of leaders, creating a ripple effect of empowerment and resource sharing throughout the community. It's contributing to a cultural shift where Black women's leadership is celebrated and normalized in professional and entrepreneurial spaces. These examples illuminate something profound about the journey we're on as Black professionals and entrepreneurs. They show us that when we center our cultural identity, when we build with community in mind, and when we approach our work with both heart and strategic thinking, we create something far more powerful than individual success stories. We create movements, we create ecosystems, we create lasting change. This approach to success requires us to reconsider fundamental questions. What if our greatest contribution isn't what we achieve individually, but what we build collectively? What if our legacy isn't measured by personal wealth, but by community health? What if true power comes not from climbing ladders, but from building bridges? For those who have spent years in survival mode, leading teams, raising families, holding down households, carrying communities, this message offers a profound invitation. It's an invitation to release the exhausting burden of having to do everything alone. It's an invitation to embrace a form of power that comes not from grinding ourselves down, but from building each other up. As Myesha so eloquently put it, when we heal ourselves, we heal our communities. When we build businesses, we're building legacies. When we share our knowledge, we're ensuring that the next generation starts further ahead than we did. This perspective challenges us to see our professional journeys not as isolated paths to personal achievement, but as threads in a larger tapestry of Black excellence and community care. It rejects the false choice between personal success and collective advancement, showing us how these goals can and must be intertwined. The question before us now is not whether we can succeed individually. We've proven that time and again, often against tremendous odds. The question is whether we can harness our individual successes to create collective power that transforms systems rather than simply navigating them. This is where the real revolution lies, not in breaking ceilings, but in building new structures altogether, not in securing seats at existing tables, but in creating our own tables with room for everyone, not in accumulating wealth for ourselves, but in generating prosperity that flows throughout our communities. As you leave here today, I challenge you to fundamentally reimagine your definition of success. Ask yourself, how am I using my talents, resources, and platform to build collective power? How am I ensuring that my success creates pathways for others? How am I contributing to ecosystems that will sustain our communities long after I'm gone? The future of Black entrepreneurship and professional advancement lies not in producing more exceptional individuals who beat the odds, but in creating communities where the odds themselves are transformed, where success is not the exception, but the expectation, where we rise not despite our communities, but because of them. This is the revolution Myesha Garrison is leading, a revolution that invites all of us to move beyond individual achievement toward collective power, a revolution that recognizes that true liberation will never come through isolated success stories, but through interconnected communities that lift each other as they climb. The time has come to reject the myth of the self made success story and embrace the truth our ancestors always knew. We are powerful beyond measure when we move together. We are unstoppable when we build together. We are free when we rise together. The question is not whether you will succeed. The question is, who will rise with you?